Hey friends, welcome to part 2 of this mini-series Holiday Health Survival Guide. Today we're talking about something that I believe so much in, and I really know doing this one thing can absolutely transform how we experience the next few weeks and as we close out the year. But I have to tell you guys, so I was getting ready for this, and I record on Thursday mornings. I get up and I usually write out what I'm going to record on, and then I generally go out for a walk or a run, and I did just that today, only this morning. I'm getting ready and I'm writing everything out, and my kids are up so early these days. So they get up at I wake up super early, but they're getting up at 5:45. So they're in my office by 6, and I'm trying to finish up everything, and I got one on my lap asking if he can type, and I got the other one building Legos telling me every single block or every single Lego he's putting on his creation. I'm trying to balance being a mom and doing my work, and I'm just getting all agitated inside. And so I finish everything up, and I'm going, okay, I got to go for a run, because if I'm going to record, I need to be in the right mind space. I can't be, agitated, because I've been trying to do 2 things at the same time all morning. So I go out, and ironically, I'm getting ready to record this podcast on movement and being mindful in our movement. And so I get out, I go for my run, and I look at my wrist, getting ready to click my Garmin to start tracking my run, and I don't have my watch on. And I'm like, dang it, it doesn't count if I don't have my watch on. I need to go back. I need to get it. I want to know how far I'm going. And I just stopped, and I was like, no, this is it. This is what I'm talking about. Today I'm talking about movement without an agenda. Going to move our body, experiencing the high we can get, the endorphin lift from just being outside, being in our body, moving it in a way that feels good, without tracking it, without rules, without targets, without rigidity. I thought, how ironic. The one day I'm recording about this, I have to practice it myself. So I resisted the urge to go back into the house and get my watch and track my run, and I just went. Guys, I have no idea how far I went. I have no idea how fast I ran. I stopped and walked several times, but I listened to my church podcast and got caught up on the sermon for the week, and it was wonderful. And here I am in a mood 10 times happier than when I left the house and ready to serve you ladies. So this is what I'm going to be diving into today, is how we can really engage in productive movement that's not just productive in the health sense, but productive in the mental health sense, alleviating some of the stress we might feel over this holiday season, and how to get out of some of the rules and rigidity that we feel around exercise. So before we dive in, here is the review from the week. Thank you to Matt Ward 97. She says, Jess doesn't just tell you why, in her opinion. She shares the facts and talks with grace of loving yourself in the journey. Thank you so much for that review. If you guys are enjoying any of these podcasts, I just want to ask you guys to head on over to iTunes, click subscribe, and leave me a review. That is the absolute best way y'all can thank me for these episodes. It really helps me spread the word. It helps me spread the love. So thank you for taking the time to do that for me. Guys, if we aren't connected on social media, I just want to let you know, head on over and find me at Jess Brown RD on Instagram and Fuel Her Awesome on Facebook. This month, I'm doing daily drops of health, happiness, research-based facts. I'm calling it the Health and Happiness Advent Calendar. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I know you guys are going to get little fun tips and encouragement on your food and nutrition and exercise along the way this holiday season. So be sure to head over so you guys can stay tuned with that. And last, but definitely not least, is don't forget that I have extended the Fuel Her Awesome Food Foundation sale. Guys, this is the lowest this course has ever been offered. It's the lowest it will ever be offered. Enter I Am Awesome to get $75 off your one-time investment. Head on over to jessbrownrd.com and click on courses. You guys will see all the info there. And if you have any questions about it, my team would love to help you out in understanding more about it and if it's the right fit for you. But don't forget that code I Am Awesome for an extra $75 off. And that is going to be good through the end of the week. All right, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. This one thing that we can do to move from surviving to thriving the holidays. What's up, food friends? Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Jess, and if you're new here, I'm so happy you are here. I am a body bully warrior, food freedom guru, nutrition nerd with a capital RD. Get it? For registered dietitian. I am here to help you become an empowered eater. I'm dishing out nutrition fun with a side of science as we learn how to let go of guilt and that all or nothing mentality. I am in your corner cheering you on because I know you have this inner awesome and we just need to fuel it right. We need to fuel it with the right food, the right mental thoughts, the right relationships. I'm here to fuel your awesome with the nutrition info that supports you, empowers you, mental strength training, and confidence that radiates regardless of your body shape. You know you hold an inner awesome, and I know you know this because you're here. You downloaded this podcast, you're listening, you're tuning in. So if you're ready to be the healthiest version of yourself, here we go. Food freedom means food is just food, and you can channel that energy you used to use to obsess about food in your body. Now we take that energy and we can channel it towards serving your purpose, your family, your work, your inner awesome. It's so crazy how there's this ripple effect when we allow ourselves to be the healthiest version of ourselves. Our family feels it, our work feels it, or else the world needs it. I'm stoked to be in your corner. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at JessBrownRD or check out all my resources, JessBrownRD.com. All right, Superwoman, are you ready to channel that inner awesome? We're going to take it up to the next level. Let's dive into today's show. All right, moving into episode number 2 on this mini-series, Health Holiday Survival Guide. Guys, as you know, this morning I was on my way out the door and I had to practice this, and it was priceless. It has completely changed my day, and I know it's something that's going to help and serve you guys. When it comes to exercise, specifically around the holidays, but I think it can be expanded to the entire year, but specifically it's amplified during the holidays, we tend to have one of two approaches when it comes to exercise and movement. Either we get in this all or nothing space where we feel like we have to do like a certain amount of activity, we have to run a certain distance, we have to sweat a certain amount, we have to attend a specific class. Like there's all these rules around it. And if we can't get that amount of exercise in, it's not worth doing. So we just don't do it, because the reality is this is a time of year that's very busy and we're being pulled in a lot of different directions and it gets really challenging. So we have this all or nothing approach, or we cling really, really tightly to the rigidity we feel around exercise and those rules. Like we have to get the hour in and we reroute our entire schedule around that 1 hour. So either way, whichever way you approach exercise, like if you're the one that does the all or nothing and you tend to dwindle off exercise this time of year, or you're the type of person that holds exercise at such a high priority that it actually overshadows some of your other values that you might be missing out on this holiday season. Either way, there is this common theme of rules around exercise. And these rules and this rigidity that we see pop up around exercise is what we know is linked to compulsive exercise and exercise dependence. There are actually some really cool markers that you can take, some self-home tests you can take. My favorite is the compulsive exercise test, where you can actually see, like, is my relationship with exercise productive or is it pathological? And the bummer about it being pathological is that I think it really impacts our ability to utilize exercise for the good. I mean, if we think about it, we know exercise is an incredibly helpful tool in managing stress, managing depression. It is essential for our overall health, but it's when we put these rules and we encapsulate them with this rigidity, it really limits our ability to access those benefits. So I want to share some just like basic exercise research that has come out that I think is really fascinating and I think helpful in letting go of some of the rules and rigidity. So number one, there was a study done on people who tracked their steps, and they found that folks who get above 7,000 steps per day show decreased health comorbidities. So in other words, people who got over 7,000 steps, they moved their bodies a little bit more. They tended to have less risk or lower risk of things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and other health issues. Now, if they got up to 10,000 steps, they did find a slight advantage. However, if they walked beyond 10,000 steps, they didn't really see an added benefit. And so how I interpret this study really encourages me, because what it says to me is that yes, there is this underlying like basic instinct that we need to move our bodies. And that shows because when we get and move our bodies kind of around 7,000 steps, we see a lot of health benefits. However, there's really not this pressure to go much farther. And in fact, it may be inflammatory if we go too much farther. So that pressure to, get 20,000 steps or 30,000 steps, that's really culturally made. And I get it. Some of you might have higher step count goals, or you may be running, training for a marathon, and that's a totally different story. But this idea that we have to put this pressure on ourselves to go beyond a certain amount it's highly individualized and totally dependent on what your individual goals are. I was reading another study that was done on a group of individuals undergoing treatment for depression. And what they found was that engaging in 2 20-minute walks per week reduced symptoms of depression and improved response to treatment. And I love this study because it's not like they were training for a marathon. It's not like they were, hitting the CrossFit gym for an hour and a half every single day. No, they were doing 2 20-minute walks a week. That's it. Another study looked at adding in 1 45-minute bike ride per week, so just one per week over a 6-week period, and they found this was enough to favorably impact epigenetics and alter gene expression that was involved in body fat deposition and metabolism. So guys, in other words, the research really does show that there are just some basic movements we can add in, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We can get health benefits. We can see the benefits at the epigenetic and genetic expression levels, and we can see it impact our mood. So all this to say that those rules and rigidity that we encapsulate around exercise might not be something that we want to take into this holiday season. Guys, if you can get outside for 10 minutes, awesome. If you can get outside for an hour, great. Like whatever it is you can get in this season, let's do it. Removing those rules and rigidity are going to help allow space for opportunity. I might not be able to go to my 1-hour body pump class, but I can get in a 10-minute walk. I might not be able to go for my 30 to 60-minute run, but you know what? I can sit here and I can do like 10 burpees in between classes or in between sessions. I mean, we'll be able to then look for opportunities to lift our heart rate, get our blood flowing, and alleviate some of the stress that might be building up in our bodies because we're not attached to the rules. It's like, okay, I can't get 30 minutes, fine, I can get 5. And we find those opportunities. And you know what? You find that a few times a day. Guess what? That adds up by the end of the day. And then my absolute favorite part about this benefit, especially if you're able to get outside. So if you're like, I'm going to take a break from work, and instead of going to the break room or instead of, just sitting here scrolling on Instagram, I'm actually going to go outside and go for a walk. I'm going to look at the mountains. I'm going to look at the sky, whatever it is around you. Guys, being outside and being present in the moment, this is a mindfulness practice, and this strengthens your prefrontal cortex and helps your prefrontal cortex, which is the decision-making center of our brain, stay engaged so that when we go back into our environment, whatever we're doing, whatever stresses we're encountering, we can manage it better. When we think about exercise and we're setting a goal to increase intensity or duration or strength, guys, that's goal-oriented exercise. I want to just take a minute to say that this time of year and this season, unless you're actively working towards a specific goal, like you're training for an event or you're trying to hit a specific target at this point in time, if that's not you, this is a great time to pull on the benefits of exercise outside of the aesthetics, right? And looking at exercise as really a means for stress management or mood improvement or practicing mindfulness. Perhaps some of the goals this holiday season when it comes to exercise might be a little bit different than they are other times of the year, and this is a-okay. So my invitation for you all today is to consider how you might be able to let go of the all or nothing thinking or the rules and rigidity you place around exercise and perhaps reframe some of the goals you have with exercise and movement this season to set you up for success so you don't fall into this all or nothing trap. So you're not prioritizing exercise above time with family. Guys, the bottom line is movement does help. Movement energizes us. It keeps us healthy. It keeps us strong. It helps us to manage stress better, which is very important this time of year. It provides opportunity for mind-body connection, which improves mindfulness. There's so many benefits. Like bottom line, movement is necessary, but there are not rules and regulations to the amount or type or what you have to engage in to attain these benefits. Friends, when and where can you find time to move this holiday season? And where can you let go of some of those rules so we can practice this balance of intentionality and permission, discipline and grace? How can we play that out in our actual physical movement this holiday season? Be sure you tune in this Friday for the last part in this mini-series, Holiday Health Survival Guide. I'm going to be talking about my favorite, food. We're going to be diving into tips and tricks on managing the food this holiday season. So be sure you guys tune in on Friday. Until then, cheers and happy moving. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it strengthened your food journey and empowered you to live boldly in your body. Real quick, sister, before you go, if you liked today's episode, the best way you can thank me is head on over to iTunes, Fuel Her Awesome Podcast, leave a review and subscribe. Then take a screenshot and share it on your social media. Don't forget to tag me at JessBrownRD. And if you're looking for more resources, be sure to check out my website, jessbrownrd.com. I've got info on my e-course, Fuel Her Awesome Food Foundations, my 10-step ebook on how to beat body bullying, and so much more. I cannot wait to chat with you babes again. Until next time, cheers and happy eating.